Tatiana. Tashi the Lake, and good evening, everyone who are present here, and those who are watching live from Tibet House YouTube, and those who are present here, present in the WebEx platform. So, on behalf of Tibet House, the Culture Center of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, New Delhi, on behalf of Tibet House, would like to extend our warm welcome to all of you, all present here, including those who are joining through the WebEx platform and those who are watching live from Tibet House YouTube in English and Russian. Today, we come together to observe Bodhicitta Day, coinciding with the 15th day of the lunar calendar, 15th day of the first month of the lunar calendar this year, and also recognized in Russia as the Tatiana Day or a student day. And I believe our present here, both online and those who are present here, is the result of our accumulated merits, allowing us to convene on this auspicious day and participate in taking the Aspirational Bodhisattva Vow from our director, Venerable Geshe Damdul, at Tibet House, a culture center of His Holiness the Dalai Lama in Delhi. Therefore, we consider ourselves as a truly blessed on this occasion. And with this aspiration in mind, I would like to request Venerable Geshe to kindly lead the lamp of the eternal wisdom, followed by the audience gathered here, and take this session, please. Thank you.
And all the participants have to join to offer lamps. And as you offer the offering participants will join us in offering lamps, and those of us from online, if you have right to offer, then good. If not, don't worry. Yes, naturally join us here. Visualize that you are in Tibet House to offer lights, and the offering participants will offer as you. The whole purpose of offering lights is very symbolic. A light symbolizes the wisdom to dispel the, just as a light dispels the darkness, the wisdom which will dispel the darkness of ignorance, which is responsible for all the miseries, all the pains individually go through, the pains the world goes through, the family goes through, and everybody goes through. So with this mind, we offer this light, all of us here. And when we offer this, it don't just take one single light, but imagine that you're offering the whole universe with light to dispel the darkness that you see around within the mind of the individuals, of the beings, of the world. And also that not only yourself, but all the sentient beings are making the offering of this light to all the bodhisattvas. Okay. Yeah. So with this mind, please join me to offer the lights. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to Shandavara Dharma, the burden miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to Shandavara Dharma,
for all bewildered mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to chant the Lara Dharma for all bewildered mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to chant the Lara Dharma for all bewildered mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to chant the Lara Dharma for all bewildered mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to chant the Lara Dharma for all bewildered mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to chant the Lara Dharma for all bewildered mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to chant the Lara Dharma for all bewildered mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to chant the Lara Dharma for all bewildered mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to chant the Lara Dharma for all bewildered mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to chant the Lara Dharma for all bewildered mysteries glow. With folded hands, Dharma for all bewildered mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to chant the Lara Dharma for all bewildered mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to chant the Lara Dharma for all bewildered mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to chant the Lara Dharma for all bewildered mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to chant the Lara Dharma for all bewildered mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to chant the Lara Dharma for all bewildered mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to chant the Lara for all bewildered mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to chant the Lara Dharma for all bewildered mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to chant the Lara Dharma for all bewildered mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to chant the Lara Dharma for all bewildered mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech them. Of all directions to chant the Lara Dharma for all bewildered mysteries glow. To chant the Lara Dharma for all bewildered mysteries glow. Okay, thank you. Please take your seats. Sorry. That is. Okay, welcome you all to Bodhicitta Day here in Tibet House. And I don't know whether it corresponds to the first month of the lunar calendar. First month? Okay, so program coordinator confused, so I'm also confused. Okay, so basically this Bodhicitta Day to be observed here in Tibet House, which is ideally speaking, should be happening once in a month, every month. And the why it came into existence is for two reasons. Number one, 2013, I think about like 11 years ago. 11 years ago, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, when His Holiness was in Delhi, one morning, the secretary called me up, and then I rushed there to the hotel, and His Holiness gave me a lengthy instruction on how to run Tibet House, the purpose and so forth. Then alongside, His Holiness also indicated the need for this program, to taking Aspirational Bodhisattva Vow honor. So whenever there's a huge gathering, that why not we do this, the ceremony of taking the Aspirational Bodhisattva Vow on the level of the public. So that is the major reason which makes this happen since those years. Also, that we conduct what is known as Bodhicitta retreat. I'm sure that many of you who are here for this offline, online both have taken part in what we call as the Bodhicitta retreats, which happen in many different places. And but we see that there are some of the participants or some of the people from Delhi and who are so eager to take part in these programs, but because of the home responsibilities, house responsibilities, family responsibilities, that they cannot join this in the different parts of the India as well as in the world. So considering this situation, that people having so much enthusiasm to take part in this too, the whole purpose is to bring about transformation in oneself, to become a better person, more kind person. Today we see that this is what is lacking in the world, the kindness, sense of responsibility, sense of understanding. This is what is lacking. And yet there are people who are eager to go through this, the practice. And the seeing this and the inability to go outside Delhi. So, for example, like we have here, Minogaji, whose children were very small then, and she was so keen to take part in the programs. And then I said, "Don't worry." So then I thought of something. Then finally, the idea came into being to conduct Bodhicitta retreats here in Tibet House. So since then, except for the times that I'm away, otherwise we always try to make sure that this program happens once in a month. Okay, so this is, and also I'm so glad that Tibet's staff, Tibet's staff over the years, we see that though they're very young, all of them very young, but I see that they've been really maturing, they've been really learning a lot. And now that when some programs are there, I don't really have to run after the programs. So the secretary, program coordinator, there's Jumla, and then there is the Kungala, and all of them, they are doing so good. And then IT staff, all the staff, Tibetan staff, though very young. This is something which I really feel so happy about, that the Tibetan staff, young people, they take the responsibility. So all these things happen without me having to tell them, and they made everything happen. So I'm extremely, extremely happy to see that it's many years that the younger ones, they have been now learning, progressing, and then the seniors, they pass down their legacies of what they've learned to the younger ones. So this is how we see that over the last 14, 15 years of my tenure here. I see that the progressing a lot. So I'm very grateful for that. So happy with the progress. So with this in mind, what we do is going to be, most of you already know, but then those of us from Nalanda NMC2, NDC4, and who are more new to this program, who never they took part in the Bodhicitta retreats before. For you, this may be a little new, but this is a very important thing. We see that finally, of course, if possible, embrace everyone else. If not, at least make sure that you are kind to yourself. And how to be kind to yourself? The best thing is, practice compassion and the wisdom. So when you practice compassion, your mind is happier. And His Holiness the Dalai Lama, I so vividly remember during His Holiness's recent teachings in Bodh Gaya. There, His Holiness was really sharing His Holiness's direct experience of what the Bodhicitta is like. So when you feel the Bodhicitta, all unnecessary mental agitation will subside. This is what His Holiness shared with us so experientially. And yes, everybody wants to get away from the stress, misery, and so forth. And this is the best way by which to heal ourselves. So it's a great opportunity. And yet, keep in mind that it is like taking antibiotics regularly and regularly for some chronic disease. Likewise, this practice is not be just left on, okay, I did it once, Bodhicitta retreat, or I did once, Bodhicitta day in Tibet house. And let's not be complacent with having done it once, but this is something like taking the antibiotics on a daily basis, or taking the breakfast or your food daily. So this is how we should practice it. But for that, we need to know how to practice it. And what we're doing here is primarily for all of us to learn. And those who already know how to do this is for them to take this as a great impetus, a force for us to invigorate your whatever practice that you do on a daily basis. For newcomers, this is going to be like the initial learning of how to extract a meaning out of one's daily life. So having said this, let us to a proper visualize. Whole purpose is to awaken your Buddha nature, which exists within you, me, everyone. And from that point of view, there's no difference between you and anybody else. Everybody is same in ways of possessing this, the most precious treasure in the world, the treasure of the infinite happiness, the total fearlessness. And so with this in mind, for this awakening of this treasure, we require two things. One is the wisdom to be awakened fully from the darkness of ignorance. Then number two is to expand this wisdom through the compassion. Compassion reaches out to others, and the infinite beings, infinite compassion, infinite reaching out. So for this, there's universal compassion reaching out with wisdom. So these two things are the key for our practice. Having said this, let us visualize all the enlightened beings like Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama as the role models for our spiritual journey towards awakening of the fearlessness and infinite happiness. And that they are so loving, caring, and embracing. And for the Bodhicitta field, let us visualize your two kind parents, all of family members, including children, and all other demon sentient beings. Particularly, I've been constantly hearing about the demise, the loss of the people, their parents, their children, their siblings, and so forth. This is what I've been constantly hearing, and people becoming sick. Just let us visualize all of them who died and who are still in the hospital, who face all these atrocities in wars, and the animals in the hands of the butchers. Just let us think of everyone, all sentient beings with you, like the mother showering incredible compassion towards all the beings. And let us not forget that the whole purpose of this practice is to awaken you Buddha nature. First of all, in order to spread this happiness, you must be rich in happiness yourself. To export gold, you should have a lot of gold yourself. You don't have a gold, how can I possibly export gold to others? Likewise, if you're not happy, how can I export this happiness or share this happiness to other beings? So with this in mind, you have to learn how to cultivate this incredible happiness within yourself through the practice of Bodhicitta wisdom and emptiness, so that you can share this with all the beings. So with this in mind, imagine that you are leading this practice, and all the sentient beings that join you, inspired by all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. With this mind, let's turn to page 3 of the book. Russian translator, sorry. Russian translator. Okay, so we are also very glad to inform you that there's a Russian group also there. Russian group, the Bemla and Tatiana, two of them taking the responsibility to make sure that this program is accessible to the Russian speaking people also. I'm so grateful to two of you as well. And then we also fondly remember Yulia and the Tenzirumala, Alexei, and their team, the whole team, and all supervised or being guided by Telo Rinpoche, extremely great inspiration to all these other people who are working so hard for the Dharma, for the sentient beings. So with this in mind, let's recite this together. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Sanye Joda Zoge Chonam La Chancho Bardo Dane Gyapsuch Age Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Penye Sange Drubara Sho Sanye Joda Zoge Chonam La Chancho Bardo Dane Gyapsuch Age Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Penye Sange Drubara Sho Sanje Joda Zoge Chonam La Chanjo Bardo Dane Gyapso Che Dage Jinso Kebe Sonam Dola Benjara Sanje Dubare Sho. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations through practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations through practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations through practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. In dependent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no separateness, no sameness. I persuade to the consummate Buddha, the supreme of all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is free of elaborations. I persuade to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, which through the knowledge of all lead here seeking pacification, the complete peace, which through the knowledge of past causes those helping migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and through the possession of which help subdue as expound a variety of teachings, the one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sukada, and protector, to you are my prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays, to you the Buddha make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum te sham dathagato hyavatat te sham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum te sham dathagato hyavatat te sham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma Yam Dathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodham Evam Bhati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Meaning of the Tantra mantra. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes is what is taught by the Gracia. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear light and non-composite, such as Dharma I've discovered. Finding no one to fathom this teaching, in silence I'll return to words. Pure utterance, thought, and expression is the professional wisdom, which is unborn, unsees the nature of space, is object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the three times are obeisance, the four seals of the Buddha's teachings. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are the nature of suffering. All phenomena are the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of eons. The Buddha does not watch the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that the beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Okay, next we'll recite the praise to Shakyamuni Buddha, page 14. Thank you. Okay, as a quick reminder, as you recite the reading, there are three ways of doing these the readings. One, the words flow. Number two, not only words flow, but the meanings are reflected. Number two. Number three, words flow, meanings reflected, and the experiences invoked. There are three ways of doing this. And of course, for the third category, which is where somebody without experience doing this recitation for 100,000 times versus somebody with experience, and experience is recited once. The experience that one gets, that will be like million times, million-fold more beneficial than somebody recited for 100,000 times. But we can't expect all of us to reach to that level where you have the experience of emptiness, bodhicitta, all being invoked as we recite the praise to Shakyamuni Buddha and the other lines as well. But the point is that that at least we can try the second one. Those of us who have been practicing for the last many years, yes, but beside this, and then meanings reflected, you could feel your goosebumps, tickling sensation flowing through your body, cold waves flowing through your body. And if it does happen, this is amazing. But it requires a lot of practice. But this is something which we can do over the next, starting from today till the next several years, minimum like 5, 6, 10, 15, 20 years. And at least we can do the second version, which is reading with the words flow as well as meanings reflected. Meanings reflected, it creates the platform for us to grow to germinate the experiences eventually. So with this in mind, as we recite these, just see what are the qualities indicated, qualities of the Buddha Shakyamuni indicated, or the basis of which we praise this Prince Siddhartha as the Gautama the Buddha. And then see if you have these qualities within you. If you have, rejoice and see how to nurture them further. If you don't have, never mind, we all have the seeds of these amazing, perfect qualities of the Buddhas. So why don't we germinate these seeds and then see how to nurture them further. So this should be the basic, the thought when we recite this together. To the founder, the entire transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the full destroyer, completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme God of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the complete and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you are born on this earth, you pace of 7 strides, then 7 supine in this world. To you who are wise, then I prostrate, with pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. But a supreme science face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not, incompatible wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the founder have all understanding, filled out Mary with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the Tathagata I prostrate. The purity that frees from attachment, the virtue that frees from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dhamma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated also show the path to liberation, only feel qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the Sangha I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly, this is a teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through this marriage, may sentient beings attain the rank of all seeing. Subdue the 4 falls and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the wage of aging, sickness, and death. Okay, page 29, Heart Sutra. Let us all visualize that we are on the Vulture's Peak, and where the Buddha Shakyamuni presided over the gathering with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Avalokiteshvara, and Shariputra. And then all the monks, nuns, and the bodhisattvas, and the lay devotees, everybody, and you, your parents, your children, all the family members, everyone is there. And that this is what the Heart Sutra is happening. Just imagine that you are just there in the living form when this Heart Sutra is actually the vibrantly being said there. Prostrate to the irretrievable gem. Thus it here at one time, the Buddha was dwelling on the Master Valsha's mountain in Rajgriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then through the part of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara: how should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom train? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra: Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly beholding those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, composite factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unseen, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composite factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object or touch, no phenomenon. There's no I element and so on, up to and including no mind element and no mental conscious element. There's no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death, no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there's no suffering or origination, cessation of the path. There's no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration, and thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point in nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the 3 times also manifestly completely awaken to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of the great knowledge, unsurpassed mantra, mantra equal to the unequaled, mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, to be known as truth, since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared: Yatha Om Gade Gade Bara Gade Bara Samvade Bodhi Swaham. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva should train in profound professional wisdom like that. Then the Buddha rose from that concentration and commanded the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Aravaduteshvara, saying, well said, song the lineage, it is like that, it is like that. One should practice a profound professional wisdom, just as you've indicated, even the Tathagatas rejoice, the Buddha having thus spoken, Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Aravaduteshvara, those surrounding the entire, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that is spoken by the Buddha. As we recite this mantra, imagine that you are in Rashkir, when you are just in front, your parents, all the family members, including children, and all sentient beings with you, just in front of the Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Avalokiteshvara, and Shariputra, and all the Bodhisattvas there. And you're being inspired by the Buddha uttering the lines that have no fear, come to the ultimate happiness, awaken you of the seed of perfection within you. And you're hearing what the Buddha Shakyamuni is teaching at the exhorting. You then inform this to all the family members, including your parents, children, and everyone, and to all the demonstration beings, and everyone hearing what you're saying. They're so inspired, they're so happy to join you in this journey of cleansing the mind of the material defilements and in letting manifest the treasure of the Buddha nature within oneself to the full awakening. So with this in mind, everybody's joining you in this day recitation by reflecting on the meanings. Deota Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyata 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 Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha. By the teachings of the three supreme jewels possessing the power of the truth, may inner and outer hindrance be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified, may all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified, may the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified, may we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma, may all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma, may auspicious and perfect happiness pervade this place now. Okay, 8 verses for training the mind. Page 35. And why we're reading this is for the reason that finally, that what makes us the happiest. Just imagine that say you are a little girl or a little boy, age 4, 5, 6, 7, and then say you go to boarding school and nobody gives this amount of love and affection, there's so much attention there. You come home, you see your mom, instantly you feel completely free. This total mental ease happens. So this ease is all because of the love and affection of the mother. You feel the love and affection towards the mother, and the mother feels the same towards you. So the final secret of the happiness lies in the universal compassion, or the great compassion and great affection within you. And for this, it's not something that will come to us naturally. For some people, they demonstrate it very naturally, but it's very rare. And yet we all can cultivate it. How to cultivate it? By resorting to two factors. One, to stay away from the to get away from the non-conducive factors. And number two, create a conducive factors for the universal compassion. What forms the non-conducive factors? Ego, anger, hatred, and so forth. So they push others away from you, whereas you create compassion, embraces all others. So embracing, pushing, these two are the mutually exclusive. So with this in mind, we get rid of all these mental forces which they push others away from you, and then embrace for the factors which help us to embrace others. So what we read here, 8 verses, very simple 8 verses, and the predominantly we see that the first like 6 verses, they're dedicated to get rid of the non-conducive factors, ego, hatred, anger, jealousy, and so forth. And how to get rid of these is by identifying the causes. Identify the causes and then to see how to change this cognitively, change your perspective of the reality, that instead of rejecting, you embrace. So this is extremely skillful technique employed by the incredibly great enlightened Bodhicitta practitioner, Geshe Thangpa. So we'll recite this. And towards the end is embracing the beings, with the determination to achieve the highest aim for the benefit of all sentient beings, which passes even the wish-fulfilling gem, may hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectful to hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, when I see beings of unpleasant character and those oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I've discovered a jewel treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrongly with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I helped or in whom I placed great hopes made extremely hurtful ways, may God himself is my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself and all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all these remain undefiled by the stains of the 8 mundane concerns, and may, recognizing all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. From our 2 collections, vast the space that I've amassed, from working with effort in this practice for a great length of time, may I become the shield-bearing Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom eyes blinded by ignorance. Okay, we'll read page 37, there's 7 in practice. 7 in practice, why we are doing this is to create the energy and to get rid of the discordant factors for a journey to enlightenment, and to gather the energy, gather the fuel for your taking the this journey to enlightenment. And the meanings are self-explanatory. We just read it and see that the meanings are reflected. I bow down to the youthful Arya Manjushri. You, the Buddhas, the lions amongst humans, gone to freedom in this present, past, and future, in the worlds of 10 directions. To all of you with body, speech, and sincere mind, I bow down with the energy or aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a sense of deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms of the world. To all you Buddhas visualized as real, I bow down. On every particle of Buddha's noblest as particles, each is a host of Bodhisattvas. And I'm confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with Buddhas in this way, with infinite oceans of praise for you and oceans of sound from the as per my voice. I sing the breathtaking excellence of Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sugathas. Beautiful flowers in regular gardens, sweet music, scented walls and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense, victorious ones the Buddhas. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, sandalwood powder here to house Mount Meru. All modest offerings in spectacular array offered to victorious ones. With transcendent offerings, peerless in the vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with a strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I've done, whether my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and ignorance, All this openly lay before you. I lift my heart and rejoice in all the merits of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers here and still training in those beyond, and of all ordinary beings, you who are the bright lights of the worlds in 10 directions, who have attained the Buddha's omniscience through the stage of awakening. All you are my guides, please turn the supreme wheel of the Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request you who may actually parinirvana, please stay with us for eons, numberless atoms of the world, for the happiness and well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated by making prostrations, offering and confessing, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddha stay and teach, I now dedicate all this for the full awakening of all beings. Next mortal offering. This is again to gain merit. Merit is like the energy for you to undertake the journey to enlightenment. We require a lot of merit, otherwise we are bound to encounter with obstacles in the pursuit of the enlightenment. So with this mind, this ground adorned with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha field and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. O saje ge cho she me no ta re ram le she nye de ke ma de Sanye shenu me de buvayin Togunam da shelai chubarai shum. May be blessed the mind. Mind is directed towards the Dharma. May be blessed the mind. Dharma practices on the proper path. May be blessed that the path is free of flaws. May be blessed that the flaws are seen in a lot of exalted wisdom. Becoming utterly frustrated with the ignorance that grasps the true existence, please bless by the genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as viciously repulsive. Please bless me that my mind overflows with the precious Bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness and does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind overflows with the precious wisdom of the non-duality of bliss and emptiness. Edam Guru Rana Mende Lagam Nirate Amen. Foundation of all good qualities. The next page, this is like the roadmap. Now, having prepared ourselves for this journey, we need to know the roadmap to enlightenment. So this roadmap, just 14 verses by Lama Tsongkhapa. The foundation of all good qualities is a kind of perfect pure guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly saying this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the present freedom of this birth is found only once is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. A mind that unceasingly day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After death, just like a shadow follows the body, there is also the virtuous and non-virtuous karma follow. Finding a firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful, to abandon even the slightest negativity and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeing them is the door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by the pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, great question arise. The root of the teaching is keeping the breath of moksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so for all mother migratory beings, please bless me to see this training supreme bodhicitta and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. Even if divided bodhicitta, but I don't practice the 3 types of morality, I'll not achieve enlightenment. With necessary recognition of this, Please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I pacify distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyze the meaning of reality, please bless me to chant repeatedly within my mind stream the unified path of karma body inspection inside. Having become a pure vessel by training the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the Supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the two attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I become firmly convinced of this, please bless and protect these vows and bless them alive. Then I will realize the importance of the two stages, essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions. Please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who show the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it in long lives, please bless me to pacify completely all out any inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separate from perfect gurus, may enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities stages of the path, may will attain the state of Vajradhara. Meaning of the maximum mantra in English. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of the flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani to show the host of demons without exception. Song about crown jewel of the sages of the land of snows, those on top by your feet and make prostrations. Okay, next, generating the mind of consummate yoga. For these 4 points to practice, number 1 is the single point of meditation. That's why it's like the preliminary, creating the preparing ourselves for this practice. Now, the actual practice constitutes the 4 things. Number 1, the single point of meditation. Number 2, renunciation. Number 3, bodhicitta. Number 4, the wisdom of emptiness. And then we take the aspirational bodhisattva vow. Okay, so before this, what we do is that we'll do a little bit of physical exercise, then followed by breathing exercise, followed by breathing meditation. So this is what we're going to do. And then so for this exercise, For example, like our Laurel is here, Lori, and the just so those of us uh, who, who have a little bit of health issues, make sure that you don't do this physical exercise too strongly, do it slowly. And so we need a little bit of space for this physical exercise. And breathing also, for the breathing, that the people who have the health issues don't do it too forcefully. Yes, you will become strong one day, and then you can do it very forcefully at that point. For time being, do it more gently. Okay, physical exercise, I see that the offline, online, I don't see anybody like newcomer, maybe one or two newcomers. So I'll do it, and then we will do this together. So the physical exercise, this is extremely important for particularly when sitting for meditation, and then people who are more into the sedentary lifestyle, and we tend to have the backache problem. So for this exercise is extremely good. Okay, with this in mind, first, just hold your knees and backbone upright. Okay, backbone upright, hold your knees, and then your right shoulder in. The right arm should be straight, and right shoulder in, and right shoulder and the left knee. You try to bend it down, and you head towards the left side, and the right shoulder try to, if possible, touch. If not, at least take it closer towards the left knee, and see that your back actually stretches 3 times. 1, again, sit up properly. Again, 2, 3, good. Okay, next, left shoulder in, and arm straight, left arm straight, right arm can be bent a little bit, and then left shoulder and right knee 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Good. Again, right shoulder in. 1, 2, 3. Left shoulder in. 1, 2, 3. Good. How many feel back a little lighter? Good. Okay, online, offline, all. Wonderful. Okay, Lorilla, you did it. Amazing. Thank you. So glad. Okay, next. This is a physical exercise to keep your body fresh, alert, light. And you can do it every day. The next is the breathing exercise. After this, breathing meditation. For the breathing exercise, stretch your arms, pull the 2 thumbs inside, wrap the 2 thumbs with the fingers, create fists, and put the 2 fists on your knees. Okay, good. Then your arms straight, and pull through your knees, legs, ribs. Okay, pull, knees, legs, ribs, and before it reaches the armpit level, you pull it in front. Don't throw it too forcefully, just throw it straight. Then the 2 fists, you throw this to your left side. And the right fist should hit the left armpit like this with the sound. Okay. Then the index finger of the left hand, make it straight, and hind side of this index finger block your right nostril, and take 3 deep breaths, and put a hand down on your knee again, Again. Good. Again, go back the 2 fists on your knees. Knees, pull, legs, ribs in the front. Then throw to the right side now, to the opposite side, like this. Then let go of the index finger, hand side of the index finger, block your left nostril. Take 3 deep breaths. Put down, put your hand down. Good. Again, your fist on your knees and pull up, knees, legs, ribs in the front. Now, put the 2 fists on your 2 knees. Breathe from both the nostrils. Breathe through both nostrils. Are you good? Next, the breathing meditation. 5 minutes, breathing meditation. And as I said earlier, most of you are already very familiar to this practice, breathing meditation. Let's do it for 5 minutes. No instructions required. Only thing that you need to keep in mind is to be mindful of your, that your mind doesn't go into the errors of meditation, mental laxity and mental scattering or mental excitement. If any of these 2 things happen, apply the remedies, mindfulness, introspection, and mindfulness. Let's not miss to employ these 2 remedies. Ready? 5 minutes. Okay, thank you. Next, we move to the renunciation on the basis of the 4 seals. Okay, this is going to be guided meditation, which means that we just follow the instructions to see how much you can invoke the respective experiences. And meanwhile, we are encouraged not to correlate or tally or compare, contrast with what you've studied before. Just try to invoke the experiences. You can contrast, you can compare, not now, later on, after completion of this, the session. And you can do anything you like, compare, contrast, and so forth. So here's the opportunity for us to invoke the experience. So with this in mind, ready? Renunciation. Renunciation is to renounce the miseries, not to renounce the happiness. To renounce the miseries, we need to know how to renounce causes of miseries. The Buddha indicated, ye dharma hetu prabhava. That all phenomena arise, particularly the phenomena of impermanent nature. They are driven by their respective causes. So our job is to renounce causes. To renounce causes, we identify the causes. And the Buddha identified the root cause as to be the ignorance as a root cause. This ignorance again has varying degrees of subtlety. Buddha identified 4 of them. Ignorance which misconceives impermanent phenomena as permanent, which misconceives miseries as happiness, which misconceives impure things as pure, which misconceives selfless nature or as of selfhood nature or objective nature. So to eradicate these 4 levels of ignorance, Buddha taught the 4 seals. The first seal, all composite things impermanent. Think of the gross impermanence which are of 2 kinds, gross and subtle. Gross including the acute pains that we see in the life, the loss of near dear ones, the beautiful sun, beautiful sunshine, beautiful spring, and the acute cold winter. And beautiful moments of your childhood, your youth, and with the old age. Good health and into illness. This is what the impermanent phenomena is. 100 years ago, 200 years ago, this world was not empty. Somebody was there. People were there. Where are these people? Minimum, there should be like 4 or 5 billions of human beings. Today, 8 billion human beings. Those years, those days, must be minimum 4 or 5 billion human beings. Where are they? Not even a single person left today. They're all gone. This is reality. Buddha did not invent the reality. Buddha discovered the reality. So Buddha helps us to discover the reality. This is known as wisdom. This impermanence, whose continuum terminates, which gives us so much of pain, even to think of one day I'll be gone. One day my parents will be gone. When we think of this, it's so painful. Yes, this is the gross impermanence, and yet this is a reality. And this impermanence, where the continuum terminates, should be possible only if there is a subtle impermanence involved. For example, the change that you see over the span of 10 years. So some of us were older, we did not have white hairs 10 years ago, and today we have more white hairs coming up. So this change, and even somebody who's in your 20s, so you may feel that you are so young. Yes, comparing with the people with 40, 15, 50, 40, 50, 60s, you are very young. But comparing with those in those who are 15, 16, comparing with them, you say you're old. So this is how we're changing. But we all have been that young child. But then we grow older now. And one day, we'll all disappear from this earth. 100 years, 150 years from now, in the future. Not even a single person today, out of 8 billion human beings, not even a single person will be left then. This is reality. So this is possible. This change is possible only if this change is happening on a yearly basis. The changes that you see on a yearly basis is possible only if this change is happening on the monthly basis, weekly basis, daily basis, hourly basis, minute by minute basis, second by second basis. Yes, the change over the span of second by second basis is so quite visible. Tuck, 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 tuck. Visible. And the change that you see over the span of 1 second is possible only with the change happening on the millisecond level. 1 second split into 1,000 parts. So where the change is so fast that your eyes could even hardly see that. For example, you press the timer, you press the stopwatch, and to see how the time hand moves so fast. So fast. This is how all composite phenomena are moving, including your body, your house, your mother, your father, your husband, your wife, your children. All composite phenomena are moving at that pace. This is what our eyes could not see. Our eyes are so gross to see these subtle levels of impermanence. Yes, that's true. It's very scary, which means that our bodies move so fast, changing so fast, which means that it's like we're being thrown in a very fast-moving train by the stranger on the train platform. Faster the train moves, more the fear. Why? We don't know where this train is taking us. So who decides where this train is taking us? It's decided by the train driver. If the driver is your mother, no doubt she will take you to a specific spot. But if the train driver is dictated by the terrorists, no doubt it'll take you to the slaughterhouse. In our case, the train driver is a mind which moves so fast, and yet it is under the dictate of the two worst terrorists, self-grasping, ignorant, self-centered attitude, and the worst of contaminations, which is the self-grasping ignorance. And self-centered attitude complements the self-grasping ignorance to make it very active to let manifest the acute pains. Okay. As long as we are under the sway of this contamination, the worst of contaminations, we will never be happy. This is what the Buddha indicated as the second seal. All contaminated things are suffering nature. Suffering like what? 3 kinds of suffering. Suffering change, and pervasive conditioned suffering. Those of us who study this so well, and on this basis you can understand the deeper levels of suffering, your renunciation will be to that extent deeper. So with this in mind, suffering, the manifest suffering change, all the delusive, the mundane happiness, and the pervasive condition suffering, that we are under the sway of the contaminations, the contaminant karmas and afflictions, involved in burdens, samsara, and so forth. So that this is the reality. Where we are under the sway of contaminations, we cannot escape these 3 kinds of miseries. And it's extremely exhausting, so tiring, so painful, so agonizing. Yes, this is a reality. And we have to continue to shed tears. How many times we have shed tears, even in this life? Within this very short span of life, how much tears we have shed over the loss of near and dear ones, your own problems, pains, and so forth. So much. And then what about your previous life? Previous life. And how long we're going to shed tears in the future also. That's very true. This is the reality of life. And yet, we forget all these things and just put on the facade of the life being so nice. Put on the facade of our being samsara is so nice. And this is all deception. And those realized beings, people who are really smart, who are so kind to themselves, these people, they can see this reality, the hidden reality behind the facade. So behind that, all the miseries boil in the cauldron of the pains, agonizing pains. Yes, that's true. When will these pains stop? They will never stop on their own. Miseries or the impermanent, while broadly we classify them into gross and subtle, it can also be classified into three forms. Impermanent phenomena, whose continuum never terminates, like your mind, like time. They never stop. Impermanent phenomena whose continuum invariably stops. For example, your youth, the joys, the merriments, and so forth. 2023 terminated just recently, and it will never come back ever again. And this third category will never stop the continuum until we put effort. If you put effort, you can bring an end to this, like what? Our miseries, causes of miseries, karmic karmas, afflictions, and particularly self-grasping ignorance. If we bring a stop to this self-grasping ignorance, ye dharma hetu prabhava, then the miseries will come to an end. Yes, how can I bring an end to this? So given that this root of the miseries is ignorance, the remedy lies in the wisdom. Where there's darkness, is only through the light that darkness can be eradicated. Likewise, it is only through the light of the wisdom that the darkness of ignorance can be eradicated. What is that wisdom? The wisdom, by the very definition, is the discerning mind whose apprehension to object tallies with the reality. What's the reality? The reality is what the Buddha indicated as the third seal. Everything is the nature, emptiness, selflessness. What do you mean by that? Okay, let's quickly meditate on emptiness. Those from NTC4, you may find it a little difficult. Don't worry. This is going to be a great opportunity for us to hear about what emptiness is, although what we're doing is a very basic cursory form, but still it's very meritorious that we are hearing this. And those from NMC1, NMC2, and NDC 1, 2, 3, you get some ideas of what this emptiness meditation is all about. So with this in mind, let's meditate on the emptiness of self. What are you doing? I'm meditating. And how does this person who identifies as I appear to you? Like a dream, your mind is creating it, or as so objectified, so solidified, objectified there, so well defined. Of course, so solidified, objectified there. This belief that this self exists is object real, this is ignorance. How do you know that this ignorance? How do you know that it's not valid mind? Yes, this is the key. If this self does exist as objectively real, then remember what Arjuna taught. If the mirage would be water, well, not those clothes, but the mirage, sea water. Likewise, if this person would exist objectively, why do I see this person as I go closer to the object? Okay, now let us go closer to the object. Going closer to the object is technically referred to as the subjecting the person to ultimate analysis. Subject person ultimate analysis, just ignore all those things which are not the self. You're only interested to see where is this objective existence self. Going closer, you see the thin layers of skin, behind that the fatty tissues, behind that the muscles, cartilages, flesh, whole skeleton, the heart, the lungs, the liver. So all the solid parts constitute the element of earth. And none of the element of earth is this objective existence self. That is, the element of earth is not identified as intrinsically as this self. Empty of being intrinsically one with this self. Now see if the self exists as different from these 6 elements. Remove all the 6 elements, remove water. 4 liters of blood, which is pumped in and out by the heart to the different parts of the body. Of course, that is not me. Element of fire, 2,600 joules of energy. The body heat, of course, that is not me. Element of air, 4.6 liters of air that you breathe in and out through your lungs. Of course, that is not me. Element of space, 99.99% of the body is vacuum. But I'm a solid person. The space not me. What is left? Element of consciousness. Your mind. I'm a male. I'm a female. The mind does not have a gender. Gender is posited on the basis of the body. And also that people can see me. People cannot see my mind. Even this mind, element of consciousness or the element of mind is also not me. Okay, now if none of these 6 elements constitute the self, or to identify as intrinsically as one with the one with the self, see if the self exists as still as objectively as there, as different from the 6 elements. Remove the 6 elements. What do you find? We find nothing there, nothing is left. Which means that if you are sure of this, you understood the emptiness, you get some idea of the emptiness of the self being intrinsically empty of, self being empty of, intrinsically different from its 6 elements. Good. Okay. Now stay in this experience. You come too close to the object. Where's yourself now? Nowhere to be seen. These are only 2 possibilities with which to say the self exists intrinsically. Both are ruled out. So from the object, there's nothing to be identified as a self. Stay in this experience for a while. Okay, in this, just as the self dissolves, the benefit of this practice, this meditation, is that if you can subject the self to the ultimate analysis, self dissolves. Like we said, you can subject all your miseries, sorrows, miseries to this ultimate analysis. All the miseries will also dissolve. They'll be transcended. This is known as transcendent sorrow, is absolute peace. Just try to stay in this experience of emptiness where all your miseries dissolve. Now generate very strong enthusiasm, aspiration. May I experience this emptiness where all my miseries dissolve, transcended. This is known as renunciation in its ultimate form, ultimate self-renunciation. Slowly come out of the practice. We'll switch to Bodhicitta now. For the Bodhicitta, since we don't have much time, we will do the first 2 immeasurables. Ready? Okay. The first 2 immeasurables. Given that this is a very important practice, find the universal compassion, where the secret of the happiness. For this, let us invoke all the Bodhisattvas with us, particularly Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the enlightened beings of the Guru Padmasambhava and all the great teachers. Jisun Tilopa, Jisun Naropa, Jisun Marpa, Jisun Milla, Jisun Thakpalajin, all the Gaju Masters. Sajjan Kunga Nyingbo, the Sajja Pandita, and all the Sajja great masters. Then the Chonampa and the masters of the Chonampa tradition. And the Damche Kempa and all the masters. Potong Cholinam and all the masters. Lama Tsongkhapa, Geshe Kidrubish, and all the masters. Okay. Immeasurable compassion. And what we're doing can be very superficial. This is the meaning of the practice. Practice means that we have not really reached there. We are attempting. If it's superficial, this means that you are actually practicing. It's so good. Don't feel bad that, oh, what I'm doing is just so superficial. What I'm saying doesn't really tally with the real thought. So therefore, we are attempting to transform our mind. For this is one skillful way by which to make it happen, to transform your mind. Immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. Causes of suffering primarily consist of self-grasping ignorance when complemented by self-centered attitude. May all my dear mother sentient beings be freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you make such a courageous commitment, like the mother after all these many years of raising children. Today, the eldest daughter is just age 12, and eldest son just age 11. Two of them come to the mother, telling the mother, please take rest. You have done everything for us. Now we are grown up. We'll take care of all our siblings. And the mother could not believe her eyes and ears. She is so proud for you. This is exactly what is happening to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. So proud to see that you have made such a courageous commitment to take the responsibility of all the demonstrations on your shoulder. And this pride and happiness invokes the compassionate mind of all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas to send for nectars of very soothing lights towards you and all demonstration beings. The mere touch of the lights and nectars with the bodies beings yours washes away all the miseries and cause of miseries from the demonstration beings yourself. And you witnessing such a miraculous happenings towards all the demonstration beings, you're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Next, immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. The causes of happiness primarily consisting of the wisdom of emptiness, complemented by the Bodhicitta, supported by renunciation. May all my dear sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. The Buddhas Bodhisattvas witnessing that you make such a courageous commitment, the intense happy and proud view, this pride and happiness invoke their compassionate omniscient minds to send forth nectars of soothing lights towards you and all dear sentient beings. The mere touch of the lights and nectars with the bodies beings yours instills in all happiness and the causes of happiness in the minds of sentient beings yourself. And you witnessing such a miraculous happening towards all the sentient beings, you're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Just about in this experience of the unconditional love that you feel towards all the beings now is so special. Imagine that you are looking at the eyes of each of such beings to the extent that each one of them feels themselves as so special in your eyes. With folded hands, let us make a Bodhicitta commitment 3 times wholeheartedly. It can be very superficial, it doesn't matter. This is how we are finally letting go of the self-centered attitude, which tortures us, which torments us all these innumerable lifetimes. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. This is the most beautiful mind which ever exists in the whole universe, and today you've generated this. Slowly transform this beautiful mind of Bodhicitta into a spotlessly clean moon disk, horizontally sitting on the heart. Okay, it's amazing that you made such a courageous commitment to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. That's amazing. But you know that no matter how much you squeeze a handful of sand, no oil comes out. Yes, that's true. But I'm not like a handful of sand. I am instead like a handful of sunflower seeds, squeezing which oil does come out. I have a Buddha nature within me. Every all sentient beings, all my dear sentient beings have the Buddha nature, seated perfection within them. And how to awaken this? Since time immemorial, you have never awakened this. Today, what makes you think that you can? The manifest awaken this. Yes, thus far I'm being deceived by the two demons, self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered. Today I'm disillusioned by that. I'm going to do everything to exterminate the two demons. What are you going to do? I'm going to do a very powerful remedy. What is that? The non-dual wisdom of the Arya Bodhisattvas. What is that like? Okay, let's quickly retrieve the experience of emptiness meditation, which we did as the third seal, as part of the four seals. Okay, what are you doing? I'm meditating. What's your body doing? My body is in meditative state. And how does the person who you identify as I appear to you? Object real or like a dream? Of course, so object real. This is self-grasping ignorance. Okay, remember what Aratnagachan had taught? If the mirage would be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? Likewise, if this person would exist objectively, why don't I see this person as I go close to this object? Okay, now let us go closer to the object by subjecting the self to ultimate analysis. Okay, what we end up seeing is just the earth, the solid parts, the heart, the lungs, the skeleton, and so forth, element of water, the blood, element of fire, the body heat, element of air, and space, an element of the consciousness, our mind. Now tell me, which of the six elements is to be identified as intrinsically one with the self? None. Okay, if not, then see if the self does exist as intrinsically different from the six elements. Remove the six elements. What is left? Nothing is left there. Both the possibilities for intrinsic existence self are rejected. Well, this is what is left there. You have to come too close to object. What is the self? The self is nowhere to be seen. Stay in this experience for a while. This is not what I'm inventing. This is what I'm discovering. This objectively self is not there. Yes. Is it that self does not exist altogether? No. Imagine that you come out of the meditation, which means that you switch from the ultimate analysis to the conventional analysis. Again, the self comes back. Self does exist in us the conventional analysis. But how we see the self as object real, as ultimately real, if it does exist ultimately, it should be perceptible to the ultimate analysis. But failing to see that, we can deduce that the self is empty of ultimate or object reality. So where is the self now in our ultimate analysis? Nowhere. Stay in this experience for a while. This is the most fearless mind. If you truly experience this, all fears will dissolve. This is known as the fearlessness, liberation from all the fears, moksha, nirvana from all the fears of life. Amazing, so precious. Slowly transform the fearless wisdom of emptiness into a spotlessly clean, white white Vajra, thumb size white Vajra, vertically sitting on the moon, just get a heart. Okay, now you have the more symbolic of the conventional Bodhicitta to exterminate self-centered attitude, and Vajra symbolic of the ultimate Bodhicitta, the non-dual wisdom of the Arya Bodhisattvas, to exterminate both the afflictive and the cognitive obscurations, to guarantee that you're going to experience fearlessness and infinite happiness eternally. Wow, this is amazing. But let's not forget your two parents, all of your members, including children, and all demonstration beings. Yes, that's true. With intense compassion, invoke intense compassion, and this compassion invokes your Vajramuni to heart, multiply infinite number of times. Share one set of Vajramun with your mother at the heart, one set with your father at his heart, one set with each one of your children, your family members, each one of the sentient beings in your own country, in the world, in the Milky Way galaxy, in the entire universe, in the oceans, in the wilderness, everywhere, in the sky, everywhere. Now, all sentient beings have the Vajramun, which you so kindly share with them. Amazing. Let us not forget the old Buddhist Bodhisattvas, they are watching us since the time that we started this program. Okay, why not we invite all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas to be the witness to our undertaking the ceremony of taking the Aspirational Bodhisattva Vow. As a gesture of making this request to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas, let us slowly stand up to make 3 prostrations to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas, along with all the sentient beings. Okay, now let us sit on our right knees. Page 50, page 50. So we have, now this needs to be a little, okay, we'll use the old version, because that most of us, we have the old version. Okay, what we do is that for the online participants who are looking at the screen, we're going to skip the verse number 2 and 3, although later on eventually we're going to add this for the people who are offline. They don't see the screen, they use the book still, it is not really updated yet, so therefore we skip the second and the third verses. First verse we'll read it 3 times, followed by the 2 verses, the last 2 verses. Okay. Okay, let us invoke all Buddhist Bodhisattvas in the space in front of us, a so loving, caring, embracing, with intense joy and happiness, witnessing what we're doing. And you, like say, like a little girl or a little boy, age 4 or 5, for the first time in your life, coming up for making a public appearance for the first time on behalf of your school, and your parents left behind whatever they have to do for that day to join the audience, waving their hands to you. They feel so proud. This is exactly what is happening to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. They're so proud of what you're doing today. And we see that, look at the world. Look, you go around, we see there's so much of proudness, all because of the lack of compassion. Abusing, bullying, cheating, all these things are happening, all because of lack of genuine affection and compassion. So now what we are doing is so special in ways that we are generating this compassion, which is the ultimate secret of happiness for yourself and the ultimate secret of happiness for all the demonstrated beings. So with this in mind, and imagine that you also bring, as a very, very responsible little girl, little boy, you bring all your siblings with you in this participation of this, the taking the Aspirational Bodhisattva vow. Let's say the freedom together. I go for refuge to Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated Mother Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate Mother Bodhicitta, and Lavashala too successively train the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the Mother Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate Mother Bodhicitta, and Lavashala too successfully train the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the Mother Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the Mother Bodhicitta, and Lavashala too successfully train the Bodhisattva practices. Feel the joy over having received the Aspirational Bodhisattva vow. And this is the amazing, the thing that you've done today, that all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, they feel so happy, proud of what you've done today. It's like the mother, after all these many years of hearing the complaints from the school over your behavior as a little girl, little boy, always bring complaints from the school. And today the school principal comes to the mother. Again, the mother is very apprehensive. Again, what kind of complaint? The school principal says, no, I've come here to congratulate you that your daughter, your son, two of them appointed the best of the students for this of our school for this year. The mother couldn't believe her eyes and ears. For the first time after all these many years of receiving complaints, today she seems here is so pleasant. This is exactly what happens to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. They're so happy all these innumerable times. They only wish that we do something virtuous so that we'll be happy, that we don't suffer, but we do the opposite. We engage all the negative karmas, 10 non-virtuous karmas, afflictions, ignorance, and so forth, which makes all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas so sad. And today they feel so light, so happy, because that you have done something so different, so virtuous. This makes all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas so happy and proud. This pride and happiness invoke the Vajramoon, the full-fledged form of the Vajramoon at their hearts to multiply infinite number of times. And they descend to merge with the one that visualize your heart. Also, they descend to merge with the one that visualize at the heart of your mom, dad, each one of family members, including children, and each of the sentient beings in the wilderness, where everyone all the beings in the wilderness have to live in fear, one eating the other, one eating the other. And yet today, everybody's at peace. They are being blessed by the Vajramoon from the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. They bless the Vajramoon, which you have shared with them. Likewise, in the ocean, every creature, big, small, everybody has to live in fear of somebody else is eating. Smaller ones eating the bigger ones eating the smaller ones. And today they're at peace because of your practice. Like everywhere, all sentient beings, the Vajramoon which you have shared with them are being blessed by the Vajramoon from all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. This is amazing. This is the greatest of the gifts that you're making to all the sentient beings, and today you have gifted them with this, the most precious gift. And this is the greatest offerings that we can make to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. Buddha very clearly proclaimed that one moment of generating great compassion towards the beings far excels the gifts of the whole universe filled with gems and offered to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. If this were the case, what to mention of our having taken the full-fledged Aspirational Bodhisattva vow, and this is the greatest offering. And today you have made this offering to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. And this is the greatest of the meaning of life, greatest of the meaning, and today we've extracted, given such a meaning to your life. It's amazing. This is to be celebrated. And all these wonders are happening because of the blessings of the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. As a gesture of thanking all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, let us again stand up along with all demon sentient beings to make prostrations, three prostrations to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. Okay, let us turn to page 51. Page 51 is that yes, indeed, it's quite scary, to be very honest, that this life we met with the great teachings. For example, like having met with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and we are being inspired by the teachings of His Holiness. And we met with the great Nalanda tradition of very sophisticated philosophy, imbued in the spirit of Bodhicitta, so precious. But next life, they ended up taking the Aspirational Bodhisattva Vow. And next life, whether or not we will meet with this tradition once more. So this is quite scary. And today, if you look around, if you live in the Sangha community, like-minded people, we see everybody is practicing Dharma, studying, of course with their own little bit of complications here and there. But overall, it's so good. The moment you step out, we see that the people follow blind faith and no belief in rebirth, and so very, very, very scary. And its majority is like this. And no way even to introduce these concepts. They are not ready. They just close the door to this. This is what happens. Very scary. If this is the kind of environment that we take birth in the future lifetimes, it's very scary. So how to make sure that it doesn't happen? Because of course, this life, we make the most of this, create a conducive factors for others, for Dharma practice, Dharma studies, Dharma reflections practice, and also that we ourselves, we do it the most, in whatever capacity, make the most of this life, and then include this in a very powerful prayer. So this verse that which you want to read is to connect us to the same precious teaching so that we can continue our journey. Gade gade para gade para samgade bodhi swaha. So with this mind, wholeheartedly, they say this verse 3 times together. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. And there are many verses are for us there are two things for us to remember. One, to meet with the Dharma. A meeting with the Dharma doesn't guarantee that you will swiftly delve into this practice. So, for example, say the Tibetans, 99.9% of the Tibetans and those in the Himalayan belt, in China, in many Southeast Asian countries, people are they're connected. The time they're born, they're connected with the Dharma. But now, how about if they're very seriously engaging in this? It is not guaranteed. So for that, only those people who find joy in this, they will seriously delve into this. So the remaining verses from Guided the Bodhisattva of Life by Bodhisattva Shantideva, these are to invoke this joy with the practice. So that in the future lifetimes, when you hear the word Bodhicitta, there's a joy coming in you. So this joy will make you to in search of where this teaching is happening. So this is how we'll continue our journey in the next life very effectively. So we'll recite this. In order to further increase this bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who have lucidly seized and awakened the mind of bodhicitta in this way should highly praise it in the following manner. Today my life was born fruit. Having well obtained this human existence, I've been born in the family of the Buddha and now am one of Buddha's children. Thus, whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family, and never shall it disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind man discovering a jewel in a heap of rubbish, likewise by some coincidence, an awakening mind has been born within me. It's the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereignty of death, is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world. It's the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease. It's the tree that shelters all beings wandering and tired on the path of conditioned existence. It is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth. It's the dawning moon of the mind that expels the torment of the disturbing conceptions. It's the great sun that finally removes the mystic ignorance of the world. It's the quintessential butter from the churn of the milk of Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the bounties of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and it shall place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors, I invite the world to be guests at a festival of temporary and ultimate delight. May gods, demigods, and all be joyful. Okay, direction prayer. Longer one. Okay, for the direction prayer, page 294. Yes, thank you. Okay. Okay, let us dedicate the virtues that we have. No doubt we have gathered this enormous virtue. This virtue, let's dedicate that. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the true source of joy and happiness on this earth today, that he lives long and that his wishes be fulfilled spontaneously, particularly to spread this message of compassion to embrace all the sentient beings so the world can live in the harmony and a spirit of brotherhood and sisterhood, that no wars, that no the man-made disasters, that no what do you call it, the family conflicts and so forth, all these problems subside. And let us also pray that the people, they start to practice they practice compassion, and that on the basis of the universal ethics which His Holiness is promoting, today taking the form of sea learning, social, emotional, ethical learning. And yes, of course, it's so encouraging to see that this is what is being now spreading so widely. This very encouraging sign that is hope for the world, better world. And let that this be spread everywhere universally, in a very secular context where everybody learns how to be a more decent person, how to be more inclusive, how to be more compassionate, understanding gratitude and so forth. And let me personally pray that these virtues, that each one of us, through your concerted effort in the practice of bodhicitta and the wisdom of emptiness, that you soon see the dawn of these two, the treasures in yourself, that each one of you become such a reliable guide to lead all the demonstration beings to ultimate happiness. May the teaching bodhicitta and the teaching wisdom of emptiness thrive in the minds of all demonstration beings, present, future. With this mind, let's recite the following verses together. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful charities, Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samantabha there too realize things they are, also I dedicate all these merits in the best way that I may follow their perfect example. I dedicate all these rules of virtue with the dedication praise as the best by all the Buddhas who appear in the straight times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. Chanjo Samjo Rembo Che ye bana ke gyuro je ke ba nyam ba me ba ya kone kondo pe barai sho. May the Supreme Bodhicitta, there is no reverse in the rising grow, and may that which is arisen not diminish but increase forevermore. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Due to the merits of these precious actions, may I attain the state of a Guru Buddha and lead all beings without exception into that enlightened state. I dedicate a merit thus gathered towards the realization that is in the prayers of all the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas of the three times, and to the abundant Dharma of teaching realization. May I in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the four wheels of the mind and vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect way in the two stages. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. May the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the fallen find new hope, constant happiness, and prosperity. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from all the illness. May every disease in the world never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid, and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power, and may people think of benefiting one another. By the merits I've accumulated, may every single being abandon all forms of wrongdoing and perpetually engage in virtue. May they never be parted from the might of Bodhicitta. May they always engage in the Bodhisattva's conduct. May they be cared for by the Buddhas and relinquish the actions of devils. May no living creature ever suffer, commit wrong, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled, or their minds ever be depressed. May all the pains of living creatures ride solely upon myself, and through the might of the Bodhisattva Sangha, all beings experience happiness. Having dispelled all inner and outer obstacles and downfalls, such as poverty, despair, oppression, cruelty, epidemics, and natural disasters, to the environmental degradation, may all beings forever enjoy the glory of peace and happiness. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. I go for refuge to Tubal Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. By the power of practicing and supplicating to you, may all be free from sickness, poverty, and conflicts, and may Dharma and auspiciousness proliferate in all the places where we abide. The power of unity and emptiness, compassion, is loosely explained by the Bodhicitta, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the beings of the land who knows. You, the lotus holder, Tenzin Gyatso, we supplicate you that your wishes are fulfilled spontaneously. May the operations of evil thoughts and deeds of the negative forces of humans and non-humans who harbor malice through perverted prayers against the teachings of the Buddhas be totally vanquished through the power of the truth of three jewels. By the dependent realization of profound substance, appearance, and emptiness, together with the force of great compassion of the three jewels and the power of the truth, and through the virtue of the infallible law of karmas and its fates, fruits, may this truthful prayer for ours bound in it quickly fulfilled. May the teachings of this beneficial one till worlds end be unshaken by the winds of evil thoughts. May it always be met by innumerable beings who find conviction in the teacher by understanding the teaching of true nature. May never falter even for an instant to uphold that excellent way of the sage, which illuminates the principle of dependent origination through all my births, even giving away my body and life. May I spend day and night carefully reflecting about what means can enhance the teaching achieved by the Supreme Savior through the strange efforts over countless eons. In all my lives, never separate from perfect gurus, we enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of stages in the past, I could attain the state of Vajratara. Throughout my future lifetimes, may always be guided by the Manjushri and be able to uphold the Dhamma in general and the teachings on dependent origination in particular, even across my life. Deata Om Gate Gate Aragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha Dhyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha. Okay, thank you, all of you. Thank you. Oh, yeah. So one announcement from the program coordinator. Again, for the benefit for the offline. Yes. Okay. So the program coordinator is instructing me to make the announcement. So saying that we have some song offering which we made to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas done on behalf of all sentient beings, and now will be distributed for the participants of this, the offline participants. You will get it real. Online, you will get it virtually. Yeah, the song offering. So the younger ones, please come to distribute.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you, Geshe. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Geshe.
Geshe. Thank you, Geshe. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you so much.
Dorji Geshe, good to shape Danunan.
Thank you, Geshe. Thank you.
Thank you very
Geshe.
much, Geshe, and thank you everybody for joining
Thank you,
here, and
Geshe.
those who are watching live from Tibet House. Okay, those who are watching live from Tibet House YouTube and on Facebook, also join from WebEx. We shall prepare if you come to Tibet House, and please visit to Tibet House. And one more benefit to the offline participant, we have prepared the Desi Tibetan rice and the tea at the adjacent hall, and please come and have tea and rice. Tujana. Thank you. For the online, please come next time to Tibet House. And we will surely offer you Tibetan Desi for sure. Thank you. And, yeah, so before we conclude, we will do the 3 prostrations led by Geshe. So, thank you.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you very much. Goodbye, Geshe.
Спасибо.